Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the show. Tonight we have a good one here. It is race number 2 of the American Sim Racing Club Street Stock Series. Here right now we got our qualifying on, and currently we are looking at the 51 machine. This is the hitman, Ron Hart, out here tonight in the 51 machine. Ron on lap number 1. I believe have yet to get some times now. The first time's locking on in. At the moment, it is Chuck Darling with the quick time. Quickly dethroned by Rochefort, then Danta. Ron Hart, lap number 1 at 21.67 for the 51 machine. He will try and find some speed here. Lap number 2. What can Hart get here off of turn number 4 for the final time? Andrew Payne picks up some time, goes to P number 3. Hart does not improve. Last time by was a 21.70. So he will stay P number 5 as we quickly get 21 times on the board here tonight. At the moment, though, Anthony Danta leading the way. Pete Dillon able to jump there high on the board. 21.63 for the 7. As we take a look here at Travis Wright. Right lap number 1, good enough for P number 17. He will try and find some more speed here on lap number 2. For the 902 or the 10 car on the car right across the stripe. Does find that speed, able to jump inside the invert as Travis Wright will jump to P number 9. At the moment, it is the 19 machine there on the cusp as he will get bumped by Ian Martin, able to just claw into the top 10. Martin able to go to P number 9 here. Martin will try and see what he can do. Zach Nichols, though, to the top. Zach Nichols with the quick time here tonight. 21.56 for the 44 machine as Martin does not improve lap number 2. And Zach Nichols across the stripe hits the wall there, lap number 2, but only a 21.60 for the 44 machine. And it looks like 2 weeks in a row, Zach Nichols is going to walk away with the Quick Time Award here tonight, though, at Stafford. So, Zach Nichols picking up right where he left on off. But with that invert and that win last week, Zach Nichols will have to start at the tail of the field here tonight. And it's going to be a long field here, 27 cars ready to do battle. As we get a quick warm-up moment here, and then we will send things trackside to go through tonight's starting lineup. So yeah, as cars getting their last little bit of warm-up here, again ready to rock and roll. Let's check out some pre-race information here and check out some race info. So here at Stafford, half-mile racetrack here. So like we saw last week, Martinsville, this comes to a slightly different racetrack here as things going to be a lot closer quarters racing. We'll see some bump and some moving, full contact here tonight, and that's the way Stafford Speedway has always been raced. Looks like a nice cool night. Once again, 65 degrees. Track temp pretty high up there, 113 degrees, so drivers are going to have to try and keep that rubber, especially on the right side, that right front, and especially that right rear tire underneath them for these full 100 laps. Because once again, folks, here in the ASRC Street Stock Series, there is no sets of tires over the wall, so the rubber that these drivers start with will have to finish the night on. So, of course, we got to thank some league partners, that being LaPlante Racing Products, Boardwalk Subs, as well as Postma Flooring, to let us do what we're doing here tonight. And yeah, we get ready for a great show here tonight. Race number 2 about to be live here tonight at Stafford. So with the invert here tonight of 12 cars, here will be tonight's starting lineup. Starting on the pole will be the Skull Bandit Racing 48 machine. It is Tim Rogers to his outside, making his series debut. It is the 902, or the 10 on the car. It is Travis Wright. Rolling off P number 3, he ended up on the podium last week, sitting in a pretty good spot. It is the 098 of Ian Martin. Rolling off P number 2 will be the 52 machine. That is Jeff Dillon. I believe Dillon, it was either last season or 2 seasons ago, had about a top 5 finish into the points. Looks like Dillon does not make the call though, so he will start towards the back as P number 5 going to the 51 machine of Ron Hart. Chuck Darling in the 88 will roll off 6th. 7th will go to the 35 of Hayden Swank. Rolling off 8th will be the 93 car. That is Andrew Payne. And then in 9th is the 7 of Pete Dillon. Rounding out the top 10 is Stephen Rochefort in the 66, last season's champion. Rolling off 11th is the 9 car of Anthony Danta. He was another one that ended up on the podium. But the man that was supposed to be starting 12th here once again 2 weeks in a row going to the quick time. That is the 44 of Zach Nichols. But with Nichols winning last week, he will start dead last on the field here tonight. Where can he make his way through the field? We will find out here as Stephen Hoffman in the 86 will roll off 13th. 14th going to Dominique Villacue in the 19 machine. Zach Corr in the 13 will roll off 15th. 16th going to Chase Swank. 17th is DJ Oxford. 18th is Dave Payne. 19th Josh Cole. And then Braden Cook rounding out the top 20. 21st is Nathan Henry in the 59. 22nd Caleb Ramsey. 23rd is Dylan Holcomb. 24th going to John DeMeester. Then we head to our final page here tonight. Dustin Heights, and we'll roll off 25th. Jeremy Watkins starting 26th. And then starting 27th is TJ Hassan. So that will do it for the starting lineup here in race number 2. As we have a full field, 27 cars getting ready to do battle. But on the front row, it's going to be Rogers and Wright getting ready to do battle. 100 laps of distance. Here we go. The iRacing pace car heads off of pit road, and now Tim Rogers in control. He jumps on the loud pedal here, and we go green flag racing here in the street stocks at Stafford. The field will dive down into turn number 1. All the inside lane getting tight, pushing on up, washing on up, but it's going to be Tim Rogers leading the way here. As quickly Ian Martin to the inside of the 48. Side-by-side battle for the race lead off of turn number 2 as we get our first caution of the night. Who was out in front? We'll find that out here in just a moment. It looks like Tim Rogers able to hang on to it as it looks like everyone able to get the car rolling. So we'll quickly try and see what happened. It looks like maybe the 98 machine having some sort of issue going into turn number 3. Just gets in the back of the 68 of Dylan Holcomb. And then Heights able to get that car locked on up. Everyone able to avoid him. And a pretty minor incident when all things considered. So it sounds like we will quickly try and get the field back to the green flag action. Also, I see we got some chatters in the YouTube lands. What's up, Aaron and Jacob? Hope you guys are doing well here tonight. We got a good one here as a quick caution, 1 car incident. We get ready to roll them back to the green flag. Lights are out, and here we go. Tim Rogers once again in control. Can he keep the lead a little bit better? A great start for the 48 machine, and we turn him loose once again here as the field will dive down into turn number 1. 2x2 besides the driver on the point. Rogers by himself. Here comes now Ron Hart to try and take over P number 2. Then cars behind him. Hayden Swank trying to make the inside work. Same with the 93 of Andrew Payne. Oh, Tim Rogers will lead the way here. Travis Wright once again still stuck in the outside lane. Has not been able to get down to that inside lane here, and still currently the case as Andrew Payne trying to get around there in the 93 machine. These drivers know it could be a high wear on the right rear, but that track position very, very important when it comes here to Stafford. So a lot of a balancing act of when is the right time to go, how hard do you want to push this car from the get-go, and can you maintain this pace for all 100 laps here tonight? As we take a look at side-by-side battle for P number 3, Hayden Swank trying to work over Ian Martin. Martin hanging tough so far on the outside lane, but Swank able to drive it in there deep into turn number 1, get the advantage. Now we'll get clear of Martin. Martin will quickly shut the door as Wright in the 10 machine able to get down to the bottom line. Travis Wright able to slot into P number 5 here as Darling looking to the outside of Andrew Payne. Payne started in the 8th position up into 6th. A driver big time on the move. That is the 40 machine or the 55 on the car. Chase Swank here. He is trying to knock on the door of the top 10 here. He is up 4 positions from where he started. Has a lot of cars in the wall there off of turn number 4. I think for sure Zach Core got a piece of it. Same with the 19 machine. Heading up towards the front though, Ron Hart leads the single file train of Tim Rogers leads a single file train of cars, that be made up of Ron Hart, Hayden Swank, Ian Martin, and Travis Wright. So top 5 single filed out, and everyone else still duking for position. Best battle on the raceway is these 4 cars that we took a look at a lap ago. So Chase Swank able to get clear of that battle. Now here comes the 86 machine of Stephen Hoffman. Hoffman not repping the normal colors that we see out of the 86 machine. Usually it's a white car, so nice and bright. Here tonight we got a black and gold machine of Stephen Hoffman, as it looks like he will get clear, as well as the 19. Now Coyer still to the outside. Now Dave Payton trying to get around the 13 machine of Coyer. Further on back, cars still jockeying for position. Zach Nichols start dead last in the field here tonight. Has cracked into the top 20 as he gets around DJ Oxford. So Nichols into the top 20, still has a long way to go to get rolling. Same with the 52 of Jeff Dillon. Dillon big time sideways there off of turn number 2 though, as Dillon had to start at the rear, missed the grid there. Not sure what the reason was, but he tries to get towards the front there, but big time sideways from the 52 machine. Out in front though, new race leader Ron Hart has taken over the point. Tim Rogers has fallen back to second. Hayden Swank has moved up to third here as we start lap 15 of 100. And yeah, Jacob, I don't know if the third lane will ever be here at Stafford. You know, this place just too flat to ever make a third lane happen. And if there was anything, you know, you can start to see the black speckles kind of further up the racetrack. That is the marbles, and especially since I think 2 builds ago now in iRacing, the marbles have a big time effect on these race cars. So drivers probably won't be venturing up past that 3rd hash mark here at Stafford Speedway. As you can see though, Ron Hart trying to wrap that apron as long as possible, and that's going to be the fast way. You can definitely be able to cut that apron going into turn number 1, but then since there, you know, you want to be right around that position, get that car rotating. I say we jump on board with the 98 machine, see what he is seeing as we ride on board with Ian Martin here tonight. You can see there, Martin, a little bit of a higher entry into 1, but then a low exit, getting that car to turn, kind of leave that wheel turned about that, you know, 9:30 o'clock position, and then keep that car pointed, wait for it to kind of walk down the speedway here into turn number 1, and then get that straight drive off. He's trying to do that to get to the inside of the 48 machine, but everyone running very, very similar lap times here at the moment. Last time by was a 21.8 for the 98. We'll keep an eye, see what this is here off of turn number 4. Last time by a 21.83, so like we said, very little fall off here at the moment. We are seeing as cars right on top of each other here as Martin continues to try and work the top side of entry, get that momentum at the apex, and then get that good drive off to try and get around the 48 here. So everyone else kind of spread on out, not really a battle for position. Only battle for position on the Speedway here is the 2 machine of John DeMeester and the 68 of Dylan Holcomb. As we hear smoke on the Speedway, one stopped up against the wall. That looks like the Travis Wright machine here stopped against the wall. We'll have to take a look, see what happened to Wright as he is able to get that car rolling, but quite a bit of time before our second caution here tonight, as we will take a look here, see what happened to Travis Wright going into turn number 1. So Travis Wright here, battle for 5th position here going into turn number 1, right to the outside of Chuck Darling. Tries to fill the gap in front of Andrew Payne. Payne having no time to react, and that just sends the 10 car right around. Payne with some front end damage, right backs it into the wall pretty hard there in the middle of turns 1 and 2. As you can see, the damage to the back of the 10 car there, that rear deck there hanging on up, that rear bumper cover. I mean, both bumper covers on the 10 machine definitely have some sort of damage here. But out in front, that will erase the advantage the leaders have here, as we are already a quarter of the way done here tonight already. So the laps flying on by, as I believe next time by should get the 1 to go signal. Looks like only 1 car down on pit road. DJ Oxford getting some of the damage repaired there on the 22 machine. Looks like also down on pit road the 38 of Braden Cook. Besides those two, everyone else staying out on the racetrack here, and I believe next time by we should get the 1 to go signal and get ready to send the field back off to green flag here tonight. Yeah, Jacob, that's definitely going to leave a mark to the 10 car. A little bit of damage there. We'll have to keep an eye, see how that affects the car. But here we go from the grandstands of Stafford. We get ready to turn him back loose. It is Hart and Swank on the front row. Ron Hart on the loud pedal. And we go back to green flag racing here tonight. Ron Hart by himself by the time he gets to turn number 1. Now what can Tim Rogers do? He has the preferred line. Maybe didn't have the pace that the cars around him wanted to have, as he will stay to the inside of the 35 2x2 throughout the entire field to about 10th position. I want to say maybe even 15th here tonight, as Swank gets a good run there off of turn number 2, able to get clear of the 35. So the 35 machine able to get clear there by the time they get to turn number 1. Swank back up into P number 2. Rogers trying to hang on to 3rd. Chuck Darling, Ian Martin starting to lean on each other just a little bit for that 4th position. These are some of the guys that were in the invert trying to get some positions here tonight. Chuck Darling, Stephen Rochford, Anthony Danta. All those drivers inside the invert trying to get some positions. biggest mover here at the moment, the '09 machine, or the 26. It is Josh Cole. He is up 9 positions from where he started. Cole had a rough night last week at Martinsville, looking to rebound here tonight. He sits in the 10th position, but he has to be careful. The guy that started at the tail here tonight, Zach Nichols, is up to 11th here with about 2/3 of the race left to be had, as we get a caution flag on the Speedway, and the 22 with a lot of damage as he will go to pit side here. So we will take a look here, see what happened to DJ Oxford going into turn number 1. As we see Travis Wright big time sideways, Oxford sideways as well. Then we have Andrew Payne looking to the inside of the 22, and the 22 just tries to throw the block there, and wow, a big time impact there. And that sends Oxford probably done for tonight, and a big time hit to the turn 1 wall. And once again, we see a car off the nose of the 93, and I think both times, to give the 93 of Andrew Payne just a little bit of slack, both times were very late and aggressive moves. I don't know if he had enough time to react there, because the first one, I think the 93 did claim, that's why he sits in the 23rd position, but that one, man, even more tough to make the call from the cockpit there from the 93. I mean, I say we watch it again one more time, just riding cockpit view, seeing full speed, seeing what Andrew Payne saw. I mean, that's all you see. That's how quickly things happen, and just a car for a second right there on the outside, and then it is into the wall hard. We'll watch one more time as we ride on board with the 93, and yeah, that's all he saw there. And then of course we saw Oxford, a big time hit to the wall there. So 3 cautions in the first third of this race, averaging about a caution every 10 laps or so. We'll have to see if that changes for this kind of just over next half here tonight. As interesting call here, Ron Hart electing the outside lane. So the non-preferred lane, the 51 machine, will start on the front row with. That will put Hayden Swank to the inside of row number 1. So it's going to be Hart, Swank, Rogers, Darling, and Martin, the top 5 here, and the third restart of the night. So Ron Hart can dictate the pace, can fire on off when he wants, fires on off early, and here we go. We go back to green flag racing as Chuck Darling gets a great restart. He now looks to the outside of Swank here off of turn number 2. The rest of the field here jockeying for position, trying to figure out where they want to be here and what kind of pace, trying to get back down to that preferred inside lane. That is the shortest distance around a flat track, and that's definitely the place you want to be here at Stafford. As Swank will once again get clear for P number 2. Now Rogers will try and get around the 88. As yeah, I like that call, Jacob, you know, go clean and green here to the end, and then at the end, if people want to start throwing some haymakers, throwing some wild moves, you know, we could see about at that point. But so far from this third restart, action not dying on off as Tim Rogers trying to get back to third. Chuck Darling in the wall off at turn number 4. Same with Josh Cole. Cole will lose the P number 10 spot with that to Zach Nichols. So Nichols from the tail tank of the field started 27th. He is into the top 10 now, trying to work over the 86 machine of Stephen Hoffman. Dave Payton, another driver that started deep in the field here tonight. Payton with a little bit of nose damage in the 38. He is currently running 11th, and here comes Pete Dillon. Dillon started inside the top 10, lost some positions. he is now trying to get back those positions that he lost here tonight in the 7. So Tim Rogers able to get clear from Darling. Now Ian Martin with that move into turn number 1, able to get clear as well. Darling still stuck up in lane number 2, as now Anthony Danta in the 9 car will try and get around the 88. Those two make a little bit of contact there off of turn number 4. Some more of it into turn number 1, so those two cars leaning on each other just a little bit. Darling going to be able to get clear in front of Zach Hoyer. Darling will try the cross over to Danta. More contact between the 9 and the 88. Man, oh man, everyone's racing very hard for every single position. Looks like starting to calm on down just a little bit inside of the top 5. Next battle on the Speedway, that is the 19 and the 41. The 41 machine of Caleb Ramsey trying to make that inside lane work. Right now about dead even at the stripe, give the advantage to the 19 machine. Yeah, Jacob, it's very tough to be in any sort of position. I mean, in a perfect world, you know, you want to be like Ron Hart right now, leading the way in the clean air, running your own pace, but it doesn't hurt to be even, you know, second in case the leader makes a mistake, leader starts burning up their stuff, or even third, you know, Tim Rogers, any sort of restart, he sits in that catbird seat and can jump on the advantage if he gets the opportunity. So anywhere, you know, I want to say at the moment, anywhere inside the top 5, as long as you restart it on the inside lane, you could be sitting in a very, very good spot. As we take a look a little bit further back, battle for position, Braden Cook able to get around Dylan Holcomb there in the 68. Holcomb will look to the crossover move, won't be able to send it there into turn number 1. As, yeah, everyone else kind of spreading on out here tonight. Just trying to get position, running their own race. I mean, last time by, most of the field in the high 21.7s to the low 21.8s. So everyone running very, very, very similar lap times. As we see there, the 35 machine of Hayden Swank a little bit high on entry. There though, Tim Rogers high on exit. That'll open up the door for Ian Martin. Martin looking for 2 weeks in a row up on the podium here in the street stocks. I believe last week Martin finished runner-up. Would love to finish 1 spot better. Pick up, I believe, his first ever ASRC checkered flag. Same with the guy sitting right behind him as well, the 9 car of Anthony Danta. Danta finished on the podium as well, P number 3 last week. Would love a better position here. But yeah, we can see the driver that won, Zach Nichols. He is up into 4th as this time by from the flagman. We get cross flags here at Stafford. Halfway down, halfway home here tonight. As man, that battle for second, both cars washing way up the corner into turn number 1. Both those drivers pushing these cars hard. I tell you what, might not have too much rubber left here in these next 50 laps. Once again, big time up in the marbles. You see the 48 machine kind of throwing up the black chunks here. So Rogers big time in the marbles. Rogers going to start losing positions a lot if he can't get it down to that bottom side of the racetrack. As Ian Martin able to get clear. Here comes Anthony Danta as well. Danta able to get clear off at turn number 2. Now Chuck Darling going to try and get to the passing some cars on this inside lane. Darling trying to get back up into the top 5 here, as the top 2 starting to run away from the field just a little bit more. Zach Corson, one of the biggest movers here tonight. Corey right in this mix as well in that 13 machine. Corey now to the inside of Rogers as Rogers went from P number 3 now maybe all the way to P number 8, P number 9 in just 5 laps or less. Rogers way up the racetrack once again. Rogers to P number 8, finally able to get to an opening on the inside lane. I'd say with this, as the field spreads on out, we do a little turn 3, turn it up. So we're gonna let these street stocks do the talking, and I'll take a break from yapping here right after the halfway point in race number 2. All right, we come back here to live racing action here. Danta all over the back bumper of Ian Martin for P number 3 here. Looks like it might be shaping up for a good battle further on back. Zach Nichols trying to get up into the top 5. He is up into 6 now, getting around the 88 of Chuck Darling. Top 2 have checked on out. Ron Hart still leading the way. He has just under a second advantage over Hayden Swank, and he has a nice cushion to Ian Martin. Martin and Danta make big time contact there. Martin drifts it off at turn number 4, but these two leaning on each other big time for P number 3. Once again, contact. Oh man, these two might not be too happy with each other after this one. Does Martin send it back to the inside of the 9? He gets into the corner panel. Danta gets a little bit loose. As Danta able to get clear, he will try and run away and hide from the 98 machine. Now what can Zach Corey do? Because he knows he has to make a move quick. Oh, it's not going to be enough time because here comes Zach Nichols. I was just about to say Corey needs to make a move quick because Nichols will take advantage of it, and that he does there. Zach Nichols into the top 5 with about 35 laps to go here tonight. Jeff Dillon here putting the pressure on Caleb Ramsey. That would be a battle for the 15th position here. I believe Jeff Dillon did not make the call week number 1. Oh, sorry, he did. And did not have probably the finish that he wanted. Finished back in 19th here. So the 16th he is currently at would be a improvement from week number 1, but definitely probably not the way the 52 wanted to start the season, as he will get the wall and might lose the spot here. As we are currently looking at a battle for the 16th position here. Dominic trying to work to the inside of Jeff. Dominic in the 19 machine I believe making his ASRC debut here. Looks like should be able to clear Dylan here off of turn number 4. As Dylan into the loud pedal there early, gets the wall once again. And now here comes the 93 machine of Andrew Payne. As it looks like our race leader Ron Hart into a little bit of lap traffic. DJ Oxford, I believe, out of the race. Jeremy Watkins going to lap down John DeMeester, and now Dylan Holcomb as well. So 3 cars losing a lap here with about 30 laps to go, but our race leader Ron Hart able to get through the lap cars there pretty cleanly and easily. Zach Nichols able to get around Ian Martin, so Nichols up into 4th, Martin here under pressure once again from the 13 machine of Coyer. Coyer will look to the inside of the 98, can't quite get the run that he needed there. So Coyer once again will hound the back bumper. I say let's ride on board with the 98, looking back at the rest of the cars behind him here. As you can see, cars racing right on top of each other. Coyer with the advantage down low, but as you can see, can't quite just get enough momentum by the time they get to corner exit. That's how close the racing here is with these street stocks. As Coyer will look to the inside of the 98, almost get in the back bumper. Man, that is close, hard racing for position. And once again, a little bit of lap traffic here. Can this help or hurt the 13 machine? As Coyer last season picked up his first ever ASRC win. Would love to keep kind of the good times rolling with a top 5 finish here tonight. Or has finished in the top 10 the last 3 races he was in, as Coyer last week finished in P number 8. Right now would be an improvement in the 6th position as he runs. So out in front, Ron Hart leads the way, has extended that race lead to about a 2 3/4 over Hayden Swank. Swank starting to lose the advantage though to Danta, and now Zach Nichols on the back bumper of the 9 machine. Here with 25 to go, we get into the countdown clock, and Nichols looking to end up on the podium 2 weeks in a row. Coyer's still putting a lot of pressure on the 98 machine, but still has yet to get around him. But we are looking at the best battle on the Speedway shaping on up. It is a battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th here. As I say, let's ride on board with Zach Nichols. I believe we have a cockpit cam here with the 44 machine, and just see, this is what he is seeing. Oh, as we get a caution flag right when I was gonna try and figure out what was going on, what made him so quick, but we get a caution flag for the 4th time here tonight, and that means the intensity's gonna be turned on up here to the finish. As it looks like it might have been that battle for 5th, Ian Martin, Zach Coyer, all looks like they could be involved here. So here off of turn number 2, Coyer here looking to the inside of the 98, gets a bit of a run here, falls back into line, and then going into turn number 3 here, Coyer sends it in there deep, gets into the left side of the bumper of the 98, and then that spins Martin around. Oh, Coyer, big time hit to the wall. Tim Rogers in there as well, and it looks like those are really the cars with the heaviest damage. Coyer with a big time hit, Martin losing all those positions, and then Tim Rogers with some damage to the 48 machine. Rogers down on pit road here, and hopefully that does not end his night, but a tough break for Rogers as he started towards the front of the field here. And since then, a tough 2 opening weeks for the 44 machine. But if there are some guys that wanted to see the caution, that was probably the 9 of Danta, as well as the 44 of Zach Nichols. And then look at this guy, the 66 of Stephen Rochford, last season's champion, sits in the top 5 here. So it's going to be a 19-lap shootout left here tonight. Ron Hart, Hayden Swank once again on the front row. Ron Hart elects to choose the inside lane on this restart, and once again will be in control. So we'll have to see how this shakes on out and what kind of excitement is left in this race. And I tell you what, folks, it's going to be a lot as the iRacing Pace Truck heads down pit road. And here we go. Ron Hart on the loud pedal. We go back to green flag racing here. Hart gets away with a good start over the rest of the field. Danta now to the inside of Hayden Swank. Those two go door number to door number here down the backstretch as everyone else slipping and sliding, trying to keep as much momentum and keep that car in whatever lane they are stuck in. Here at the stripe, Swank will have the advantage, but going into turn number 1 and the entry with that inside lane, able to use that apron, they get an advantage there, and Danta able to use it. Danta with the advantage by the time they get to turn number 3. Danta nose in front, now make it 3/4 of a car as Rochford leans on Swank. Here comes now Zach Nichols back to the bottom side. Swank able to find an opening here, but here comes Zach Nichols as well. That'll put Stephen Rochford in lane number 2. As Nichols able to get clear here, now here comes Chuck Darling in the 88 machine. So Darling once again having to fight for his life for a top 5 finish. Would love to get one. He had a rough start to the season as well, and right now having a great run here at Stafford as Rochford going to try the crossover move, gets a little bit loose, looks like won't have quite enough. No, he'll sail it in there deep, almost gets into the door number of the 88, but Stephen Rochford trying to get that spot back. Those two once again side by side for the 5th position out here tonight. Further on back, Chase Swank trying to hang on in lane number 2. Now Andrew Payne. Payne involved in that 1st and 2nd incident here tonight. He has rallied back to almost a top 10 position. Payne sits in the 13th position. Caleb Ramsey up into 11th. He is the biggest mover here so far here tonight, up 11 spots and trying to get some more as he puts some pressure on Josh Cole. Hayden Swank under fire here from Zach Nichols. Nichols to the inside of the 35 machine. This is the battle for a podium finish here. As Zach Nichols trying to go from the back to the front here, and we'll get clear of Swank off at turn number 2. So Zach Nichols, last week's winner, up into P number 3. Hayden Swank finished 9th last week. Would be improvement even anywhere inside the top 10, but it looks like he may lose quite a few spots here late in this one. Hit the wall there off at turn number 4. That will kill his momentum. Stephen Rochford able to get by. Here comes Chuck Darling as well. Darling able to get clear. Swank finds an opening back in 6th. But for the lead, it is 2 open palms. It is 10 laps to go. And Anthony Danta picked up a win. A little bit of spoiler here, folks. Anthony Danta picked up the win in the Super Late Models. Can he go for the Stafford sweep this week? He's going to try. He sits in a great spot just about 3 car lengths back from Ron Hart. Hart has dominated the race all night long. Does he have enough to hang on for these last 9 laps? Swank trying to get that 5th position back from Darling. These two side by side, pretty much the only real battle. Oh, as Swank gets sideways there, Swank able to hang on to the race car, but he will lose a lot of spots because of it. Swank and Darling there making contact in turns 3 and 4. Swank somehow able to hang on to that race car, but he finds himself back in the position where he finished last week. That is P number 9. As everyone else still fighting for some last minute positions. Braden Cook trying to get around Ian Martin. Martin sideways with contact with the 14. Somehow both those cars hang on to it. Here comes now the 59 of Nathan Henry. Oh man, as Martin goes on around, he will somehow save it. But wow, more contact between the 14 and the 98. I was just about to say, it's great to see Nathan Henry back, but action all over the racetrack here. This time to go though, folks. It is 5 laps to go. Now a single palm left in this one. Looks like the 26 machine of Josh Cole having some sort of issue. He is slow on the racetrack, up and out of the groove, so Cole may drop outside of the top 20 before it's all said and done. Jeff Dillon trying to get around Chase Swank. This would be a battle for the 12th position. Hayden Swank might lose some more, as here comes Caleb Ramsey in the 41. Ramsey and Swank make contact and more contact. Now moves Swank up the groove. Here comes Andrew Payne to try and rebound a top 10 finish after the adversity here tonight. Wow, some movers and shakers late in this race. Could you imagine if this race was 125 laps, 150 laps? It would be crazy. As here we go, it's going to be 2 to go at the stripe, and contact for the race lead. Danta and Hart lean on each other hard. Oh man, if there's one thing I know about Ron Hart, he doesn't put up with rough driving like that. So we'll have to see what Hart does. He will move Danta. Danta will get loose. It's a drag race down the backstretch. Man, these guys leaning on each other hard. More contact for the race lead. Danta and Hart lean on each other. Danta in the wall hard. White flag out. 1 more lap to go. With that, Zach Nichols up into second. Man, oh man, it is anyone's race down the backstretch for the final time. What does Nichols have? He will play it safe, and I don't blame him there. And off of turn number 4, Ron Hart will pick up the 2nd checkered flag this season. Woo! Man, some great racing there. Ron Hart leads over Zach Nichols. Steven Rochford will finish on the podium here, and we'll talk to all 3 drivers here in just one moment. As Ron Hart will burn it on down here at the front stretch. He'll celebrate this win. The car that dominated the race, able to hang on with some adversity and pick up another checkered flag here in the ASRC group. And you can tell this guy's pumped on up. You see Hart burning them on down, celebrating this thing big time. And I can't wait to talk to him because he is going to be pumped on up. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back after a quick commercial break to talk to the top 3.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we come back here at Stafford Speedway, and I believe the first driver we'll be talking to is the 66 of Stephen Rochford is here, so we'll get a word with him. So our third place driver, Stephen Rochford, here coming right on up. Stephen, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Hey, Brett, I got you.
Alrighty, my man. Woo! 100 laps here at Stafford. First and foremost, how we feeling after it?
Oh man, about halfway through that race, I had my doubts whether I could hang with these guys, but seemed like tires came right to me and kind of turned the aggression level up a little bit and managed to put it P3.
Yeah, overall, man, not a bad night. And like you said there, it seemed like with about 20 to go, a light switch was flipped for a lot of drivers, whether they hung onto their stuff or they didn't.
Yeah, it was definitely tough to pass. The outside was not an option, not for me at least. I tried to take it a little higher on entry a few times just to kind of see what was out there, and that wasn't an option. So I just saved my tires and just kind of rode in line for the most part, trying to be patient. Um, and yeah, seemed to work out near the end. Had enough to burn off, and luckily those guys got in a little contact. Thought I was gonna steal one for a second there, but definitely happy with the result here.
Yeah, definitely a great result, especially 27 cars in here tonight. You know, you started deep with the invert. What was the game plan and how were you feeling going into Stafford? Because it seems like people either love this place or hate this place.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan. Um, I guess it does provide some decent racing, but Um, it's you definitely have to be patient, let it roll through the corner. Um, just just not one of my favorites for sure. I knew that the tires were going to be a big factor tonight, so I just tried to keep it as straight as I could, and but they made it hard with the outside restarts and all that. So you just kind of have to manage it and try to work through. I don't think that I did the best at it tonight, but I did just enough to make it here. That's for sure.
Yeah, that you did. I mean, race number one, not a bad finish by all things considered. You know, Richmond P number seven here, you're up on the podium. So how we feeling after 2 weeks, especially knowing you got the target on your back, my man. You're last season and defending champion.
Yeah, the competition levels definitely turned up. I think everybody can feel it a little bit, but that's just the winter series, and I welcome it. My goal is just to come in here and finish the best I can with the car that I have, and just try to finish all the laps. We'll let the cards fall where they could fall, and um, definitely looking forward to a good season. Not sure where we are next week, but maybe I'll have to do some prep to keep up with these guys.
Yeah, next week we head to yet another flat track. This one just over a half mile. It's Oswego Speedway. How you feel about all these flat tracks in a row, Steven?
I think it definitely promotes some fender banging, that's for sure. Just gotta try to keep it clean. But hey, I love the 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 mix and the schedule. That's for sure. I think Ron's the first person to ever win here at Stafford in this league. So congrats to him. He had a great race, and uh, Nichols came through the field just like he always does. You always know he's going to be a factor. So yeah, just congratulations to those two, and just got to thank Tanner for putting on the league and everybody else that's involved in it. I know that there's a bunch of people behind the scenes that help him run it, and thank everybody for coming out, all the series sponsors, you guys for broadcasting, and yeah, appreciate it.
Alrighty, awesome stuff, Steven. One more thing before we let you go. I always like to ask, especially on a new season, first time talking to you, see if there's any changes or what does your sim setup look like this time around, Steven? Still the same stuff, or what do you got for wheel pedals? What are you looking at? All that good stuff.
Yeah, I just got a simple pedal setup with the CSL Elite, just a two pedal setup. I don't have a clutch or anything. Then I have the direct drive wheel and a three monitor setup, which is still somewhat new to me. I used to have an ultra wide, but that broke, and I wasn't gonna do that again. So, uh, yeah, it's definitely a nice setup for uh, for coming down here and racing a couple nights a week, and yeah, yeah.
Awesome stuff, Steven. Well, once again, congrats on the podium here tonight. Good luck to you this whole entire season defending that championship. And I know my man will be talking to you again here, but once again, congrats and celebrate a podium finish here at Stafford.
Appreciate it, Brett.
Alrighty, folks, that was our third place finisher, the 66 of Stephen Rochford. Now we'll head to the driver that finished runner up from going to the back to the front. It is the 44 of Zach Nichols. Zach, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yep, we do.
Alrighty, first and foremost, how we feeling after 100 laps here at Stafford in the street stocks?
I feel good. I was not expecting to get up to P2 there after that first like long run we had. Now I got up to like 17th, but yeah, it was really hard to pass. You pretty much had to wait for someone in front of you to make a mistake, and that's pretty much what we did to get all the way up to P2. And we almost had a shot there at the win, but I wasn't gonna just drive in there and move Ron up the way after he led almost the whole race. So well, we're sticking with second, and I'm glad we were able to come home with a P2.
Yeah, overall, a great night from you, Zach. Like you said, starting at the back, and I mean, 27 cars here tonight at Stafford. A tough ask, but then you throw the street stocks, how close people are on the times. I mean, you said it. You had to just wait for someone to make a mistake. So, was that the game plan going here tonight? Just take what you can get from everyone and see where the cards fell?
Yeah, I mean, after that first run and realizing how equal everybody was, that's pretty much what the game plan was, and just I would just move up once people would make a mistake, and luckily we had a few people that made mistakes, and we were able to pounce on their mistakes, I guess, and come home P2.
Yeah, man. And overall, first 2 weeks, you are quick time once again, man. What are you figuring out in these street stocks to go out there and lay these flying laps on down when it counts for qualifying?
I mean, I don't want to give away my secrets, but usually and whenever we go from practice to qualifying, the track always like the rubber goes away, or the track temp cools down, and we're able to go like a tenth or two better than what we could in practice. And I feel like that's a little bit of why I've gotten some poles, but maybe not. Maybe we're just hitting some good laps. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool to have both the poles. So looking for more throughout the season.
Yeah, so we can say kind of, Zach, you're really good at adapting quickly, all right? Like that track does change for qualifying, especially these tracks with this dynamic weather. It seems to really matter more. And you can go out there and just find that limit, probably even turn number one of the warm up lap.
I mean, I mean I try, but sometimes you can't adapt that quick, and sometimes I do mess it up. But yeah, I mean, sometimes I don't even know, but we're 2 for 2. Hopefully we can get some more, and I'm trying to get some wins, man. I'm trying to come after your record of the most wins.
I know you're getting close. I think you're within 5 now of me, so that's starting to get me sweating just that little bit more, Zach. Luckily for me, you finished P number 2. I'm sure you wanted that one spot better. But the good news for you, you don't have to start dead last as we go next week.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's always a plus, not having to start as bad or as far back as we did today. But also, I'm pretty sure Ron's up there in the wins list. So he won today, so you gotta start worrying about him too.
I know it's you, Ron, and Andrew Payne, all very close to each other, and about 5 wins back from me. I'm like, oh boy, I got to make my super late model starts count, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Alrighty, man. But yeah, and another kind of similar week to last week, Zach. We'll give a little bit of spoilers for the super late model broadcast, but kind of a tough night for you in the supers. Then you come out in the street stocks and put on a show and end up on the podium, man. I mean, it's got to feel kind of weird for you, right? It's almost deja vu.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, to be fair, I do like the street stock a lot more than the super late, but it's been a while since I've put myself in the super late model, so just trying to reacquaint myself with that car, and it's really weird compared to any other car on the service, but yeah, we're gonna keep learning with that car, and hopefully we can get better in the super late model side, and yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough day for the rest of the field if you're saying you got a lot of room to improve in the supers.
I mean, I don't have that much room to improve, but just learning what works and what doesn't. Like last night, we took 4 tires, and 2 tires or no tires was the call to make. So we just gotta kind of learn and improve.
Yep, that's the key with racing. Every lap, you're trying to learn something new. So, Zach, once again, congrats on another podium here tonight. We're going to go hand over the mic to you one last time here and thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors on the car, teammates, or anyone else you want to give a shout out to on the broadcast here.
Yeah, I'd like to thank PSS&C, RSS Mobile Trailer Repair, Carney's Complete Auto Service, R&M Towing. They help us a lot in the real life stuff, and uh, that's about it. I mean, the boys back in the other Discord, like to shout them out. My dad, he's watching. Michael Kenny, he's watching. Mo Betta in the chat, he was rooting me on. I used to talk to that guy. It's been a minute since we've talked, and I'd like to shout him out as well. And you guys for broadcasting, you guys do such a great job. And yeah, that's about it.
Well, awesome stuff, Zach. It's always great time talking to you, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again in the near future. So, Zach, congrats on the runner-up, man, here tonight, and go enjoy it.
Yeah, thank you.
Alrighty, folks, that was our runner-up finisher, the 44 of Zach Nichols. Now we'll head down to Victory Lane and talk to the man of the hour. It is the 51 of Ron Hart. Ron, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, Brett, I got you, bud.
Alrighty, man. First and foremost, how are we feeling after 100 laps here at Stafford in these street stocks?
Good, man. That's a tough little place. I never seen that place before yesterday, and to come out here run that good, it was up there now on my top of my list for one of my favorite tracks. It's technical, it's tough. You really gotta take care of your car. Can't overdrive it. It's a good track, man. I like these tracks where it's not just all momentum based. You got to get in there, get it stopped, get it turned, save your tires, can use the apron. It was fun.
Yeah, and that it was. And yeah, like you said, Ron, a quick learner, though, here at Stafford. Like you said, first time ever seen it. Last night, a little bit of a spoiler, finished 4th. Here tonight, pick up the win. So you're averaging like a second place finish here at Stafford. Not too bad.
Yeah, not a spoiler for your broadcast, but last night I felt like we were the best car too and led a bunch of laps, and pit strategy got me and kind of forgot you need to take 2 tires in the supers and not 4. So happy to not have to pit tonight. Would love to stay green. I would love to kick their ass and win by 3-4 seconds like we were ahead there. Had to earn it at the end. Probably didn't save quite enough, but was able to get it done, man. It was a fun race. Race this a long time, and you don't get too many finishes like that. Anthony was doing what he had to do, and he's roughed some people up before for wins. And if you want to start it, I'm happy to give it back to you. And And all in all, that's racing. I hope he understands. And if you want to hit somebody first, and that kind of gives you the green light to get it back, and it was a fun finish.
Yeah, that it was, and like you said, Ron, had to get elbows out there, and you felt the contact at first, and yeah, like you just said, that was probably the mentality. It's like if you're gonna dish it out for the win, you gotta expect it back.
Yeah, and I'm not the guy that normally goes and moves somebody for a win, so that doesn't mean though that I don't know how to do it. So we can get it done still. It's good to use those skills when you have to, I guess. And that's what's fun about this car. You can kind of get into people a little bit and not just wipe them right out, right? You can move them, the old bump and run there, get him up the hill, and just kind of use them up after that. So, like I said, no hard feelings towards him. It's racing, and I don't regret it at all either. I mean, it's part of it here at Stafford.
Yeah, that it is because yeah, this track has very little banking. High speeds down the corner, heavy braking. I mean, where'd you figure out to get that speed, especially race pace, to have here tonight? Was it kind of just letting the car kind of rotate on its own, or kind of get the turning done at the apex? Did you find without giving away too much secrets?
Man, I'll tell you, my inspiration in the race was my boy Tanner Tallarico, who runs the apron half the damn time at Owasso and keeps getting yelled at for it in the old street stocks. So my goal was just to try to use as much apron as I really could, right? That helps keep it on the bottom, helps keep the car rotating and not to overcook the right front. So I mean, I think both nights I ran probably 180 of the 200 laps on the apron with the left sides just to keep the car rotating. And I think that really helped, right? Not didn't have to overdrive it, almost the lower you could go, it felt like the faster you could go and not use the tires. So um it was fun. It was challenging. It wasn't like one of those tracks you just go in and go wide open the whole time.
Yeah, it definitely is a fun track. And Ron, you're looking pretty good. Martinsville, you finished fifth here tonight. Pick up a win next week. Oswego, yet another kind of flat track, but you got to start in the back. How you feeling next week? Starting shotgun on the field.
Never even heard of that track. So never bought it. Don't think I've ever ran it. Don't know anything about it. So we'll go and try again. Is it the same for the supers and the street stocks?
Let me triple check, but I believe so.
All right, perfect. We'll take the practice on Tuesday then. I'm sure it'll be fine, man. If it's anything like this, it'll be good. It's definitely going to be different. It definitely didn't hurt starting up front tonight. We were pretty much second off the jump and was able to get the lead and save some tires. So it'll be a different strategy coming from the back. But, Nichols made it from the back to second tonight. I don't see why we can't do that next week.
Yep, and it is fact super late models at Oswego Tuesday night. So you at least get some practice, and I tell you what, it worked out pretty good this week, right?
Yeah, 10-4. It was fun, man. I didn't expect to get a win at this place this early in the year. It seems like the last couple seasons, it took a while to get that first win. I was close and kept losing them at the end or something stupid happened. So to get one here in week 2 is nice and hopefully sets us up for a good year.
Yeah, and I think so as well, Ron. And kind of big news speaking about this win here tonight. It makes it now your 24th career win in ASRC and actually ties a three-way tie that you had with Andrew Payne and Zach Nichols. Now you sit alone in P number 2 in the most wins in ASRC at 24. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool, man. It's gonna be tough to keep those guys back there and stay ahead of them. They win a lot of races as well, but it's been a good ride, man. It's a hell of a league, and just like tonight, I didn't have high expectations for long green runs and what we had 4 cautions or something in the whole race with 27 cars. That's pretty cool. So it just props to you guys for finding the right guys and not only finding the right guys, but having the guts to kick out the wrong guys is as important, to keep the good guys. So appreciate all the admins that keep this league, clean and good, and the rules you put in place to make sure that the racing stays good and not afraid to ruffle some feathers if people get out of line and don't let them come back. So it's been a lot of fun. Those 24 wins, have been a great time, and hopefully get 24 more.
Yeah, awesome stuff, Ron, and congrats on the win here tonight and those 24 as well. As Ron, I always like to ask people, especially new season, see if they got any sort of new sim setups, what they got for wheel and pedals, and what they're looking at these days. So, Ron, what do you got these days?
Man, my good pedals took a crap this off season, and I was looking and looking. I was going to buy another set of $400 pedals, and then kind of realized I had a set of the old basic CSL pedals that came with my wheel on Black Friday last fall. I run the Fanatec, whatever direct drive wheel I got on Black Friday, and they've been sitting in the box ever since. And busted them bad boys out to start the season, and there ain't no There's no spring on the brake. There's no nothing. They're just cheap little pedals, but they get the job done. As long as you're smooth, I don't know that it really matters that you have the high dollar equipment. Anybody can go out and win if you learn how to drive it and put the time in.
And that proves it right here. Ron able to pick up the win with the stock pedal, as I'd say. So that's awesome to hear. So Ron, that is awesome. And yeah, man, once again, congrats on the win. Before we let you go, we're gonna hand over the mic to you one final time here in Victory Lane and have you thank who you gotta thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you want to give a shout out to on the broadcast.
Yeah, appreciate my parents watching and for all the help this real race season. We had a pretty good year out there, and we got a long time now before we get to do it again. So we'll enjoy some sim racing in the meantime. Shout out for Tanner for all his help this summer as well, spotting, and really appreciate that. Lastly, Chuck Darling, we had some good practice laps today, running with each other, learning the track, running side by side. I definitely think that helped as well, holding those guys off and the late race passes that we need to make. So overall, fun night, and we'll try it one more time next week.
All right, sounds like a plan, Ron. We can't wait to see what this 51 machine can do from the back. So, Ron, you have yourself a great rest of the night and go celebrate this win, my man.
Thanks, Brett.
All righty, folks. That was our race winner, the 51 machine of Ron Hart. And as a side note, I got to give Ron Hart a shout out because up out of Wausau this last Saturday, I jumped behind the wheel of a street stock, and this man was kind enough to give me a kind of a really nice takeoff right rear tire to slap on the car, and we were able to go the fastest that street stock has ever gone there. So some pretty cool stuff, and of course got to give a shout out to Ron Hart with that as well. So that will do it there with the post-race interviews, and let's say we send things down trackside and go through tonight's race results and get things wrapped on up here. So first and foremost, got to thank all you guys for tuning in here live and all the replay viewers. And let's see where your favorite driver finished here tonight in race number 2 at Stafford. So Ron Hart will pick up the win here tonight. Zach Nichols will finish second. And Stephen Rochefort rounding out the podium. Anthony Danta, probably not going to be the happiest camper leaving here at Stafford. That is a story we are going to have to watch. Chuck Darling will round out the top 5. Pete Dillon will finish 6th, 7th, going to Dave Payne. Stephen Hoffman in 8th. Caleb Ramsey will finish 9th, and Andrew Payne will round out the top 10. Finishing in 11th is Shane Swank. 12th, going to Dominic Villeneuve. Jeff Dillon will finish 13th. TJ Hassan in 14th. 15th, going to Hayden Swank. 16th, Brandon Cook. Dustin Heights in 17th. Nathan Henry will finish in P number 18. 19th going to Zach Cord. 20th is Ian Martin. Dylan Holcomb will finish 21st. Jeremy Watkins in 22nd. Josh Cole in 23rd. John DeMeester 24th. Tim Rogers will finish 25th. 26th going to Travis Wright. And DJ Oxford will round out the field here for the 27 starters here tonight at Stafford. So if you want more racing action, tune in to Turn 3 Racing Network tomorrow night to see the race recap here of the super late models at Stafford. And in the ASRC house car, it might be yours truly out there turning some laps here. So that will do it. We will be live next Wednesday at Oswego Speedway for race number 3. That one should be a good one as well. Got to give a huge shout out to Aaron, Jacob, Mo, Kenneth, all in the YouTube chat lands, as well as Zach Nichols as well. Appreciate all you guys, as well as France out there. So appreciate all you guys jumping in the chat. Give me something to read. Give me something to enjoy and talk about. So that would do it here tonight. If you guys would be also kind, you can find a link in the description. That will take you over to Premier Setups. Premier is partnered with Turn 3, and they support us. So a click would show our support going back to them. So if you could do that, that would be greatly appreciated. And yeah, man, I tell you what, a great race here tonight. Drama all over the racetrack. So next week on Wednesday, it should be a fun one to watch. So I've been Brett the Jet in the booth. Everyone take care, stay safe, have a great rest of your week, and we'll catch you in 1 week's time. I've been Brett the Jet, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.